podcast. Before we get into today's movie that we'll be discussing, we would like to formally make an announcement that we have decided on a name for our podcast, and I'll let Liam tell you what it is because it was his idea.
So we said a lot of things last week, and the most common theme that we featured around was hats off to the director or the producer or the actors. So we decided to name the podcast Hats Off, the Hats Off Podcast. So welcome to the Hats Off Podcast.
Welcome.
Today, long awaited.
Yeah. Really looking forward to it.
Today we're doing Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, directed by Edgar Wright. It was a book, actually. It was a comic book.
Was it a graphic novel before?
Yeah, it was a graphic novel.
Okay.
Written as it's in comic book form. So,
which is kind of how they shot it, which was cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, before, like, cause you've seen this before, right?
I've seen this maybe 5 or 6 times so far.
Really? Yeah, I've never seen this movie before, so it was very.
First thoughts, what do you think?
My first thoughts before we get into it?
Yes, I do.
So I honestly, because I'm a big Edgar Wright fan, I like a lot of his movies. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End, even Baby Driver, which I know you're not a fan of, but
not a fan of Baby Driver.
I'm a big fan of his work, so I'm surprised it took me this long to watch it. And I think the main reason was because I really don't like Michael Cera that much. And
understandable.
Side note, I thought when I was watching it, I always thought about the quote in This Is the End when they talked about how like Michael Cera died, and Danny McBride was like, "Well, I guess it's not a total loss."
That's funny.
So
I forgot he was in. Oh yeah, he was like that scumbag that was at the party.
Yeah,
his dick sucked in the bathroom.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a while too. But I honestly, I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought that the cast was really good. A lot of like actors and actresses that have like blown up since I feel like since the movie aired.
Yeah, and we'll get to that because I have that as a category today. So
okay.
We'll get there.
So I like that a lot. I like the plot. The plot was good. I like the how they incorporated like the graphic aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
But we can get into all that later. But it was an enjoyable movie, and I'm glad that I actually took the time to watch it because I don't think I would have if you didn't make me watch it.
Okay.
Because of Michael Cera.
All right. Well, so we'll start off. I mean, I watched this movie for the first time maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
It wasn't on Netflix yet. I was just on this big Edgar Wright binge after watching Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz within the same week, and I said, okay, well, I'm not gonna see World's End yet because that's not really on his Hall of Fame. But
that's part of his like trilogy that he has.
Yeah, that was like the Simon Pegg trilogy. So I thought, I might as well go right into Scott Pilgrim because I had also seen Baby Driver before I even saw any of those, and I hated it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a very good taste of Edgar Wright. But then you came back and said, go look into Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
And that is what really put me onto it because Shaun of the Dead is fucking amazing. It's so good.
That's mostly because that's a lot of the reason for that is because of Simon Pegg.
And you could see a lot of his cutting, editing, sequencing for this movie and how it was inspired by how he did it on Shaun of the Dead. So at the end of the day, this is on the list of top 5 movies for me of all time.
Are you serious?
I'll tell you why. On a purely euphoric and artistic level, the movie has features and just like how the storyline's set up, how the editing comes together.
Yeah.
The mixture of music, punk rock music, as well as comic book. Like, it's actually like you're reading a comic book.
Yeah.
It's just an early career boot ups, for Chris Evans and for all these people.
Yeah.
It's just one of the most underrated movies of all time. And a lot of people when I first heard it, I was like, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World? That sounds like one of those like indie movies that I'll never see. And then
like Monsters vs. Aliens.
Yeah, and I think that's might have been why it didn't do well in the box office, but we'll get to that too.
Okay.
But I think it's gonna go down in history as like a cool classic. Or maybe a cult classic. Cool cult, you know.
I could see it being a cult classic.
Yeah. So
because those movies aren't necessarily like the. I mean, a lot of them are like the top movies, but I mean they're movies that are like trend setting or they're just like iconic movies.
Yeah.
And I could see that I could see how it has the potential for it to go down like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in like my top 25 movies of all time. But
so would it be number 26?
It might be like number 57, but I don't know.
Yeah, so this movie kind of instilled a lot of I mean, at the time it was when I first saw it, it was like early comic book movie days, early Marvel days.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen it like 2014 or 15, maybe 16. So this was like pre-Civil War, where like the MCU was really starting to get ramped up.
Yeah.
And so,
but even then,
I also wasn't as big a fan of MCU because I was a bigger DC fan because it was coming off of Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And so when Johnny was always telling us to watch, I was always a bigger fan of DC because of that. But then Civil War came out, and that switched the tides for me in terms of like consistent movies.
Well, even then, though, think about this movie came out in 2010, right?
Right.
So then, even then, it came before like all the Marvel movies except Iron Man 1 and 2.
Right. So, yeah, definitely Edgar Wright's best.
Nope, not
love Shaun of the Dead. That'd be a really close second. But
you didn't like Hot Fuzz?
Edgar Wright Hall of Fame. Love Hot Fuzz.
I think Hot Fuzz is his best.
That's a debate. That's close.
Well, either Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
And then World's End, then Baby Driver, then this movie. Maybe this movie over Baby Driver.
Yeah.
I have to watch Baby Driver again.
Yeah.
But
yeah. That's what I thought.
Baby Driver had some good moments. Like this movie had some good moments, but
yeah. Well,
yeah, I mean, enjoyable movie. Like it's not too long. It's easy to get into.
Hour and 54-ish minutes, I think.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of good cameos.
Like won't break the bank.
Like you said, Chris Evans was in it for probably like less than 5 minutes, but
yeah,
like all her boyfriends.
Oh yeah, all the boyfriend cameos are great. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, we can talk about that all day about how star-studded it is, and I was gonna bring it up for a different category later, so we'll get to that. So let's go notable scenes. If you
notable scenes,
if you want to go down that route, I'll start. So
you start and I'll think. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a big fan of editing like that. So the fact that it's like a comic book, you know, some scenes are, you know, you go from one page to a next in a comic book.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're that interested that you're flipping and it's, you know, and you just want to see what happens in the next page. Uh-huh. Sometimes, you know, maybe he's at like the gaming arcade and they go back to his apartment.
Yeah.
It'll be a black screen and it'll say afterwards or it'll say and then.
Yeah.
And that just like it just brings you back in and makes you feel like it's a comic book. Like it's weird. The Marvel movies tried to humanize comic books, but this tried to dehumanize it.
Like you see Kick-Ass? Yeah. I feel like Kick-Ass did the same thing.
Yeah.
And Kick-Ass came out like I think the year before this.
Yeah.
So they might have followed in their lead.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean it's a comic movie, so they're emphasizing the comic book part, Absolutely. Which is like you said, it's something that not a lot of superhero movies do nowadays. Mm-hmm. So
I also just love like, you know, it's so. And at first, when you first watch it, it kind of seems like a sitcom without any audience. You know, like you open to the first scene and it's like
it's kind of like forced humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because like it's almost making fun of like a sitcom that has a laugh crowd. You know, in the beginning, it was like you were waiting for that laugh to come in, but it was like almost awkward. Mm-hmm. And then later on, they actually do like a little Seinfeld bit where he comes in and he's like, "I got to second base last night." Well, actually, it was 1.5 base. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I never seen.
Remember that part? Oh, okay.
I never really watched Seinfeld.
Oh, okay. Well, they do like this Seinfeld intro music, and he walks in like Kramer or George. Anyway, so yeah, that's the first scene. I also like the first scene that really caught my eye was like when they do the title.
Oh.
And the whole room like elongates when they're playing it for the first time. That was cool.
I think one scene I really liked was when they went to the movie set with Chris Evans, and then they're like doing whatever, and then he Scott Pilgrim challenges Chris Evans' character to do like grind the railing.
Can you do a what is it called? Can you do a grindy on that thing? No, can you do a thingy on that rail?
Can you do a grindy thingy on that rail or something? That's I like that scene too because like you said, like incorporating the whole like graphic novel comic book aspect.
Yeah.
Like it has like the like Chris Evans like face, like the human part of it.
Yeah.
And then the whole backdrop is like comic book.
Yeah.
As he's grinding on the rail.
Oh yeah, I see. I know what you mean.
I like that scene a lot. I thought that was pretty cool how they incorporated that into it. And then it shows when he gets to the bottom, it just shows like the like the little explosion.
Totally bailed.
Oh, and then every time he defeats a boyfriend, when like the coins start rattling out.
Yep, that was old school video game references. I love that.
Yeah, it kind of felt like when I was watching it, I kind of felt like I was obviously not the same, but it was like similar to like when Ready Player One.
Yep.
The whole like video game, comic book, like kids toy aspect to it.
Yeah,
I thought.
And that's another reason why I love it too, because it really hits home a lot of those older games, like, you know, if you play it like an arcade, like the ninja fighting game, and like the game where they were playing like Dance Dance Revolution. They're just, you know, all my favorite things all tied into one. So that's another reason why I love it. Another scene, I just love it. It's so funny. It's like Knives comes in for the first time and they're practicing and Scott's like, "Oh, let me take your coat."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Here," and she puts it on the ground. Just drops it and just goes to play. I just think it's just so he just has like a total disregard. Like he is supposed to be like an ass. Like he's supposed to be a dick, you know? Even though he's like a really wimpy piece of shit. Yeah. He's supposed to be like a dick. He's supposed to be like that womanizer. Like he's cheating on Knives with
They made him out to be like a womanizer. Yeah. They talked about all his dates. And like all his ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, and that's why the Aubrey Plaza character was like, I can't let you ruin another girl's life.
I know. Scott. I didn't really think about how like they kind of portrayed him as a womanizer. That's a good point.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about that? It's just like it's Michael Cera with his high-pitched voice coming off of Arrested Development, and he's gonna be a womanizer.
Oh, dude, he's the complete opposite of like what the main protagonist of a comic book superhero movie should be.
And it's just funny when he knows exactly how to fight everybody. Yeah. And like when he first fights Matthew Patel and he fucking does a huge like drop kick on him. Yeah. It's just so funny. Like if you were really trying to like break it down and say like, oh well, how does he know how to fight, or how does he know how to do this, and how does he blah blah blah. It's it's like
you can't get too technical with a movie like this.
Yeah, it's a John Wick-esque type situation where you drop into a world and you don't ask questions.
Yeah, it's like satirical. And
yeah, that's why a lot of people love John Wick, because you don't need, he's the best. Like he'll shoot you, and he's got great aim, and he can reload his gun when he's got.
I mean, dude, we could do a whole episode on John Wick. So
I know, but I just love that aspect where they just throw you in, and you don't really need. If you just take a step back, and you take like it's just suspend your disbelief.
Yeah,
you can watch this movie all day long. So
and then when they're like one of the battle of the bands, when they're going up against that like Asian punk group or whatever. Mm-hmm. Those like two DJs, and then they were battling each other.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. I thought too.
Yeah, I like that. The graphics were really cool
with the two dragons that came out and the gorilla.
Yeah.
And that's how they didn't. It's cool because they didn't actually like fight each other. Mm-hmm. It was like the two characters that spawned from their music fought each other. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. And then and honestly, another thing I thought too was the last scene, the last boyfriend that he had to defeat.
Jason Schwartzman.
Yes. Yeah. When Scott went to that club, and then he whipped out the sword, and then all the I thought the crowd dispersed, and then all Gideon's like men went after him. That kind of reminded me of the Kill Bill Volume 1 scene.
Yeah.
I guess when the bride fought this crazy 88 or whatever. Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah. And they're just really smart with a lot of graphics. Like one scene, he was in the bathroom taking a piss, and it was like a piss meter. It was like a graphic, and it was like full empty.
Yeah.
And then before he goes into the bathroom, Knives walks into the concert venue with young Neil, And
oh yeah,
and she's like, "Do you know that girl?" And the meter goes in his head, and it was like two choices. It was like, I don't know her versus I gotta pee.
Yeah.
And he actually ended up saying, I have to pee on her.
And then how they did the walk, they did Knives walking behind what's her name? Ramona.
Yeah.
Knives walking behind Ramona, but they had the same haircut and same outfit and everything.
Yeah,
so
I like that. I like that. That's great.
That was good too.
What's her name, Scott? Knives Chow. She's Chinese. And then, oh my God, Chow's like, or Knives is like, I want you to come over and meet my family for dinner. And he goes, oh, what are we having, Chinese?
Yeah.
So they even let you date out of your race or whatever?
Yeah. And then he, well, it's funny how like he made a point to tell everyone too he was dating a high schooler.
Yeah.
The first like 10 minutes of the movie, he made a point to tell everyone he came into contact with that he was dating a high schooler.
And then they kind of gone like he started to realize it wasn't like cool.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, well.
He really is kind of a womanizer.
Yeah. And so let's go over some of the fights. First one was with Matthew Patel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so funny. He comes out and he's like dressed like and Wallace is like, what is this guy's outfit? Is he dressed like a pirate? And it's just so he's like, I have mystical powers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was so awesome. Second fight was with
the first fight. I mean, it was cool. I think the the second fight was Chris Evans.
Yep.
Which they didn't even fight.
Yeah.
They just talked and did the grindy thingy on the river.
Oh, you know what the best thing was? They were watching TV and Wallace was talking about him.
Yeah.
And there was like a trailer for his movie.
Yes, yeah.
And it was like, hey, Bucko, you're going to hear 2 clicks. The first click is me hanging up the phone. The next click is me pulling the trigger.
and then that's funny too how they like his character's like Chris Evans' like movie role that he has.
Yeah.
Is like just like this macho badass.
Mm.
And he like takes it to a whole another level with that. So I thought that was like funny how like they did like the satirical part of that.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite fight scene probably was the one with Brandon Root's character.
Yes.
I thought that was really dope.
Yeah, that was sick.
With his the vegan
powers.
And then it ends with his Scott gives him a mug of coffee with half and half in it.
Yeah.
And then the vegan cops come and take away his vegan powers.
I just thought really hard about it being in that cup. What do I get? I thought I get 3 strikes.
Oh yeah, and then they pull up.
You knowingly ate chicken parm.
What was the first one he said?
It was gelato.
Oh yeah.
It's milk and eggs, bitch.
Yeah, I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, I love that fight scene. That's probably my favorite too. Yeah. The lesbian one was cool too. Actually,
yeah, I keep forgetting about that one.
Yeah. That was another graphic scene where she came up to him and was starting to fight him at the bar.
Yeah.
And it was like has no idea. It was like a bar in his head, and it was like a little like it had like an arrow pointing both sides. It was like has no idea versus gets it, and then it like goes to gets it. He's yeah. And she was like, I was just a little bi-curious. And then she goes, I'm just a little bi-furious. Yeah.
That was funny.
That is so
and
great.
I like how her and Ramona and the girl were fighting. And she was like, well, Scott has to throw the punches. So Ramona just uses Scott's fist.
Yeah.
That was funny, too. That was a good scene. I like that. I keep forgetting about that one, though.
Yeah. You watched Avatar: Last Airbender, right?
The TV show or the movie?
TV show.
I watched it a while ago. Yeah. It's been a while.
That blonde girl is the voice of Katara.
Really?
Yeah. She's like, when everybody looks up like what she looks like in real life, that's what she looks like.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty funny. I might rewatch that because I know it's on. I know it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched it early quarantine, I think. Actually, kind of late quarantine. Anyway, so one
Um,
of the quotes I loved, and there's just so many like really clever quotes, but like
yeah.
it was like they were playing Dance Dance Revolution, and it came to like the Nega Ninja,
Oh yeah.
and Scott's like, oh, I could never beat this guy, and she goes, oh, don't beat yourself up about it, because it was like it
Oh
was
yeah.
foreshadowing
Oh
to at
yeah.
the end where it was
Yeah.
Nega Scott, you know. I thought that was really clever.
I gotta like find the actual quotes, but anything, anything that my favorite character was Wallace.
Yeah.
Anything he said, I was just dying. I thought he was hilarious in the movie. um, let me find a quote. Oh no, when he when he first meets Scott's sister's boyfriend,
Yeah.
and he's talking, he's like, hey Jimmy, do they rock or do they suck? And Jimmy's like, they haven't started playing yet, and Wallace is like, I know that was a test, and you passed. And the way he looks at him,
Yeah. He looked like he was hammered.
that was.
Um,
He's probably, yeah, that was funny.
Another great quote from Wallace was like, "If you want something bad, you have to fight for it. Step up your game, Scott. Break out the L word."
Oh,
And
yeah.
Scott goes, "Lesbian."
Yeah,
And he goes the other. He goes the other L word, and he goes, "Lesbians." Oh god, that's.
I think Wallace was definitely my favorite part of the movie. He was a clown.
Yeah, the first night they wake up and he's like, "What is Scott?" And he's like, "Oh, it was a girl." And then the other guy wakes up, and then that wakes up the other guy that was the boyfriend of Annie.
Yeah.
Oh man, great scene. Also, Knives comes to the door after they break up, and she goes, "Is Scott here?" And Wallace is like, "No, he just left," and he runs past and jumps through the window.
And then he tries to like close the door even more.
Yeah, and he goes back for his jacket. Yeah. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah, that was
another blonde girl quote was really good. Was your BF's about to get F'd in the B when they were fighting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't really pick up on these things. It was a funny movie.
Yeah, there was some real funny scenes. So getting into some nitty gritty stuff. Budget $60 million.
Probably a lot for the edit. Most of it probably was for the editing.
Good amount of editing. And you would think that the budget for the casting would be expensive.
Yeah.
But not really. I mean, 2010 Aubrey Plaza was just a year after she started Parks and Rec, so that's a really early gig. Brie Larson was only 21 at the time, so that was a really early gig.
Yeah, I mean this is an old movie in terms of who's in it.
Chris Evans was just coming off of like having a bad second Fantastic Four, and so he was looking for something to bring
before
back.
Captain America.
So this is the year before Captain America.
I mean, Brandon Ruth he came off Superman.
He came off as an actual. Yeah,
he was up there.
Which one? Wait, so he was 2005 Superman Returns, and
either
then
5 or I think it was 6.
Okay.
Superman Returns.
Anna Kendrick, pretty early on, pre Pitch Perfect, I think.
Pitch Perfect, pre End of Watch.
Yep.
Might have been pre Descendants. I'm not sure. Might have been pre Descendants.
Allison Pill, kind of mid career.
I don't even know what she's in.
She doesn't do that much.
Yeah.
She was in Goon, which was a year later, and then
she was in Goon.
Milk. You've seen Milk? That was 2008.
No,
that was that was a good movie. That was earlier. Jason Schwartzman was pretty popular from all of the what the hell was he in? Wes Anderson. He was in a lot of Wes Anderson movies like Rushmore and Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah.
So that's where he's got his fame from.
The Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mm-hmm.
She was off of the Die Hard movie, which was I like the Live Free or Die Hard.
Oh, the one with the sun.
That was really good. I like that one.
She was also in Sky High. So don't
Sky
forget
High,
that.
Great movie. That was
2004, I think.
Yeah, that was a while ago. And so is the
I mean, and Michael Cera, he was kind of coming off of.
he's off
I mean, he was doing
Superbad, right?
Yeah. Juno was 07, Superbad was 07.
Okay.
And then just Arrested Development before that. Really, not really much else.
I mean, Arrested Development is big though.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. So.
You know who the narrator was?
Was it Bill Hader?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah. Let's see.
He didn't win any awards.
So yeah,
major awards.
I was talking earlier about $60 million budget.
Dude, it didn't even. That's crazy that it didn't even.
31 million gross. That's why I'm saying it's gonna be a cult classic because it's one of those movies that opened and did really, really bad.
It lost money.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what their deal is with Netflix or anything like that. But I think over time they've probably done it. But
I mean, just like for the box office itself, so it lost 13 million.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
So I don't know why. I think it was tailored to Canadians first.
Okay.
And it didn't catch on.
But
that's why I'm also saying I don't think that the name was popular.
It's a late summer movie too. It was August 13th.
Yeah.
So I mean.
And it's a summer movie and it was all in Toronto in the winter.
Yeah.
So it was like
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
It's a weird time to drop it.
Well, they probably filmed it in the winter, and then they edited it and then released it in the summer.
It was all in Toronto. Yeah. Anyway, so, and talking about the cast with that $60 million budget, could you make it today with that $60 million budget? Absolutely not. If you made it with all those actors and with the same roles and you just redid it.
I mean, honestly, they might be able to. Because, I mean, so if you look at it like a guy like Chris Evans, like imagine how much money he's made off of Marvel. Like, he doesn't need money. And he wasn't really in the movie that much.
True.
So they could probably get him for not, like, they could probably get a lot of these actors and actresses that they had for not that much more, I feel like. If they're willing to take the pay cut, of course.
Do you think that it would have the same, like, small, like, indie type of feel if it was made now with those same,
No.
Yes, it would.
They'd probably have to, if they want to go for the same feel, which I don't know what that feel was because I didn't watch it when it came out.
Right.
I don't know what the atmosphere was, but they'd probably have to go for they'd probably have to recast probably the whole movie, except Michael Cera because he's a nobody still.
They actually did a like a Zoom table reading during quarantine as their 10-year anniversary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. But everybody's older. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. 10 years.
And Wallace, it's just crazy to think that he's actually Macaulay Culkin's brother, and he's got kind of a better career now.
Did you see I don't know if I think I told you to watch. He was in Fargo, the TV show.
Yeah.
He was in season 2. He was pretty good in that too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So I mean,
I haven't seen Fargo. I watched the movie.
Yeah. TV show's better, but.
Yeah. Wasn't Steve Buscemi in the movie?
Steve Buscemi's in the movie
with the big dude from Prison Break.
Yeah,
the Italian dude.
Stormare.
Yeah, that guy's dope.
And
Abruzzo.
William H. Macy.
Yeah.
Good movie. But yeah, I think that I think they could make the movie today with a similar budget. I don't think it will have the same effect and feeling, like you said, of an indie movie that if it had the same cast. Because like it has Chris Evans blown up, Brie Larson blown up, Anna Kendrick. I mean, she's popular. Like she's has a couple Oscar nods. Michael Cera is still there.
She got a couple Oscar nods.
I think she got one for Up in the Air. I know that. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
It's with George Clooney. It's a good movie. She's with George Clooney in it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Brandon Routh. He's in the DC Legends of Tomorrow TV show. If you watch that.
Oh, really? Did they bring him back for that? I didn't see that.
Well, he plays a different character.
Oh.
He plays a different character, but I think he did like a cameo as Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, most of the cast is kind of blown up since the movie.
I'm just if they kept true to that budget, I don't know. I mean, a lot of the names have bigger heads now, so their minimum budget would increase. So even if they did this for minimum, they would still have to be increased. You know, And if you want to keep all the graphics the same or even more, sometimes you could probably do equal graphics now with cheaper equipment because the way that technology has changed.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to make 2010 graphics in a 2020 release, so you would still have to increase that too. So like when you have that scene where you have like the monsters fighting each other and stuff, that would have to be that much more cool and much more updated.
The graphics would have to be better.
Yeah, so the budget would increase there. So that's what I'm saying. But yeah.
Well, even then, I mean, I'm sure Edgar Wright would have gotten a bigger. He'd probably get a bigger budget today than he would in 2010.
Yeah.
Even with your feelings on Baby Driver, a lot of people did like that.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it another shot. I don't know.
What was I gonna say?
They, Beck, he's a artist. He wrote all the songs and like performed them. That's like his.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a pretty popular guy now. At the time, he was pretty low key, but.
Beck, never heard of that.
Let's see. So yeah, they didn't get any really big awards. I feel like they could have got it for editing, best editing.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
But if a movie doesn't catch that much attention,
it's not a movie you take seriously. I feel like if the Oscars would give this movie even a nomination, I feel like it might not discredit them, but they might lose. People might not take them as seriously.
Yeah,
I feel like this just isn't a movie that would get an Oscar nomination. I feel like it's not like Kick-Ass. Like, I mean, it's like it's a satirical comedy, like spoof movie, to an essence.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. I just wish it was. I mean, it just would be. It would be cool because if you just like came at a movie for it being made and just as in like an art piece and said, "Wow, look at all that! Look at all those edits. Those are some sick edits." Like the way that they transitioned into each other, and some of them are just totally random. And like when somebody's on the phone with each other, they have like a double screen, and it just reads like a comic book.
Like, I mean, yeah, I feel like not a lot of people like notice that or look for that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or like truly appreciate it like you do.
Yeah.
I feel like too. I think movies are kind of like wine. Like they get better with age, and that's why you get movies that turn into like classics.
Yeah, I think it could get to that point.
I think the only movie that I recall like in my memory like watching it the first time and being like this movie is gonna be like this movie's up there. It's gonna be like a cult classic for sure. Was Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll do that eventually.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah. I just feel like, yeah. In terms of like Oscar nominations and awards, it's not really. It's not. Yeah, it's not a movie that I think would get them.
Yeah, I agree.
But
all right, let's look at some fun facts. Oh yeah, when Envy was like, yeah, Todd punched a hole in the moon for me.
Oh yeah.
Whenever the moon is shown, there's a full, and there's a hole in it. Ramona's third boyfriend Todd is mentioned to have flashback to have punched a hole in it.
That's funny. I didn't realize that. Or I didn't notice that.
That's cool.
So you said not to like sidetrack, but you said this movie is in your top 5.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Probably.
Would it be? Is it like number 5 or is it higher?
Probably number 5. I mean, I couldn't even I just want to put it there so that it doesn't get knocked off when I talk about the other 4, but I haven't really put the other 4 in there.
So you don't have your top 5?
No, I just know that it would be the last of the 5.
Really? Because I have a concrete top 5 in order too. I'm not gonna get into it, but
well, we can dedicate a whole show to that one because that'll take a while.
Yeah, but
interesting. No, I don't have it set up. I wish I had that, but I just don't have it.
No, I mean it's hard to. There's so many movies. I think I kind of foreign mind off of like movies that I can watch, like movies that I watch a lot of times, and it's just a variety of things. I try not to let everyone like says like The Godfather's the greatest movie of all time, Shawshank Redemption's up there. I try not to let like what other people like the critics and what I try to not let what they say like impact my decision.
Yeah, I get that too. But at the same time, if it's that unanimous and you actually feel that way too, it's not like you're selling out because it is actually that good.
I know.
But
it's another conversation.
Yeah.
That we can have.
What else? I think that's good.
I feel like we covered a lot with it.
What's on the docket for next week?
Sure, you wanna let them know right now?
We're going alternate weeks, so I picked this one.
So yeah, this was Liam's choice with Scott Pilgrim. I chose The Social Network because it's a great movie.
Another 2010er.
And then next week we are gonna do. I don't know if Liam has seen this. I have not seen this movie yet, and I really want to watch it. And I don't know why I haven't watched it yet. Part of the reason is like I'm scared to watch it in certain settings. But we're gonna talk about Hereditary.
Oh shit!
So
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that next week because that is gonna be it's our Halloween. It's getting closer to Halloween, so we're gonna get into a little more scary movies.
Are we?
So yeah. No. But we're doing Hereditary next week. So I really want to see that. So
damn, I'm nervous now.
Oh really?
I'm not a big.
Oh,
what is it again? It's like the girl is like fucking demented and.
It's like a possession movie type thing. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But
I mean, I know it was like highly praised, and I want to see it, but I don't know if I like.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough watch.
It's on Netflix.
No, I have to buy it.
Fuck.
It's $4 on Amazon. Just deal with it, or you can try to stream it on whatever. Like you usually do.
I think it came out 2 years ago, so maybe I'll be able. Oh man.
So that's the plan for next week. And yeah, Scott Pilgrim. I recommend it. It's an enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
I don't like as much as Liam does, but it's a good movie for sure.
I think we should watch Hereditary together, so we're not alone when we watch.
God.
Might help.
All right, and until next week, guys.
All right, stay spooky.
Said I got to get you.